Welcome back to the Coach Dad podcast, where we talk about what it really takes to rise above the average on the field, in the classroom, and in life. I'm your host, Mama Rush, and today we're diving into episode 6, The Secret Sauce. We're breaking down the ingredients that separate those who stay stuck from those who move forward. Consistency, mindset, courage, the people you surround yourself with, and the willingness to pay the cost of greatness. Let's get into it. How are you this evening, Coach Dad?
I'm well.
Today was a really good day, wasn't it?
It was a real good day.
Awesome. I'm super excited to get into this episode. So I'm going to jump right into the first question.
Mm-hmm.
When people hear the word consistency, they often think it just means repetition or routine. How do you define consistency in a way that makes it a powerful driver of success?
So we first got to begin with the fact that consistency is a decision. You have to decide to be consistent. You know, it looks like nothing is happening until everything changes.
Right.
And so there's a story I'm reminded of about God telling a man to push the rock. And he goes out there day after day and he pushes the rock and he pushes the rock and it never moves. And then one day he cries out to God and he's frustrated and he's screaming and he's like, "Why did you ask me to do this when you knew I couldn't move the rock?"
Right.
He said, "I never told you to move the rock. I only told you to push it.
Oh my God.
And now look at your shoulders. Look at your legs. Look at your arms. This is what it looks like to be consistent, to go out there and do a thing because it must be done, not because you're going to get immediate gratification. And it builds over time. It's almost like everybody struggles with gaining or losing weight.
Right.
Somebody has some kind of struggle with that. But even that's about consistency. And one day after getting moving and eating better and it not looking like it's changing, your body starts to change its shape. It starts to change the inches. And then you start to lose inches before pounds. And next thing you know, you're down to the weight that you want, but you didn't realize it because it took time.
Right.
And so a part of being consistent is being able to go out there and do the thing that must be done, whether you feel like it or not. And now, what we often get prisoner of is we get prisoner of perfection. You want it to look like it's perfect. You want it to look like you think it should look. But a part of being consistent is not just going out there and doing it perfect every time. It's having the willingness to make the decision every day to get it done. And so if your idea was to walk a mile a day, and today you only got the strength for a half a mile or 3/4 of a mile, whatever that is, but you got out there and you did something. And that's a part of being consistent, of getting moving, getting going out there and giving the best that you have today so that you don't lose your momentum. And so we call that keeping the ball rolling, keeping it going, whether you feel motivated or not. We talked about in the previous episode, having the discipline to keep going, even when I don't feel like it. What are your thoughts about that?
Well, it's revelatory in a sense for me because I think about the things that I set out for myself on a daily basis. And, I'm in a new season. And so for me, I don't know what this new season looks like.
Right.
So in my mind, I envision what I think it looks like. And if I don't get everything checked off that I set out to check off, sometimes I have a tendency to see that as a failure, or see it as I didn't make the mark or I came up short. But I think what I heard you say is consistency is showing up and giving it the best the best of yourself.
Correct.
So if today the best of myself wasn't my entire to-do list, I still made the mark. I still checked off the boxes.
Right.
Because I gave it the best that I could.
Right. So with the boys and even with Michelle, it's getting those push-ups and sit-ups done.
Right.
It's doing your homework as soon as you get home. It's, whatever that extra thing is that you were required to do that you are putting off, you're consistently willing to go after it and get it done as soon as it needs to be done. You're not procrastinating on it. You're not making a decision to not act on it. But every day, a part of the consistency is making the decision to move forward. And that brings me into another point. You have to have the willingness to not negotiate with yourself.
Oh man, okay. Okay, we'll talk about that.
Yeah. So, not negotiating with yourself is I'm not going to just say, well, I'll get it done tomorrow or I'll do it in the morning. No, do it now. Don't
Right.
have to look pretty. Just do it now.
I feel like anybody that's ever worked with you or knows you knows that you're like a right now type of person.
Hmm.
Like if someone asks you to do something, I don't think they realize you're stopping what you're doing to do it right then and there. Because there's I find myself saying, "Oh, you already did that." Like it kind of makes me think, "Whoa, I need to step up my game here because you'll ask me to do something, and it's like I'm not doing it right this second." All right, let me get into this next question because I think it's going to be a great segue. It's very important here. So every path comes with challenges and obstacles, but the way we approach them can change the outcome. How do you think athletes and parents can shift their mindset when those obstacles show up?
So the first thing I try to get our children, I keep wanting to reference the boys, but it's also the girls, is to be brutally honest with yourself. Brutally honest. I've had conversations with each of them at different points to let them know that you're not where you want to be right now.
Right.
The person in front of you is better. Now the question is, what are you going to do about it?
Let's take a step back for a second because you said something very important. And I mean, this is kind of like lifting the veil so people can see the inside.
Yeah.
Because I think it's really easy to say that when you have children that are performing from an athletic standpoint at a high
Mhm.
level, you just assume that you're always telling them, oh man, you're the best. You're this. You came in as a 5 star. You're the man. You're this. But there are honest conversations that we have to have if we really strive to be great and we really strive to be honest with ourselves to get to the next level.
Oh yeah.
And I've heard you
Oh
have
yeah.
those conversations like, yeah, you got beat.
Yeah.
What are you going to do about it?
So I just had this conversation earlier today with one of the trainers of our children, and we were just talking about being locally good.
Right.
And what happens with children who have aspirations to go higher, or anyone, you look at the people around you and you say, but I'm doing better than them.
Mm-hmm.
But the guy you're competing with is not here. He's in Texas. He's in Florida.
Right.
He's in Georgia. He's in California. He's in some other place and different from you where you want to go D1 or you want to be good. He's got to be good because he's got a responsibility. He's got a why that's bigger than your why.
Explain that.
His why is if he doesn't get to this next level, his family doesn't eat.
Wow.
He's carrying a burden bigger than you, and he wants it more than you. And the question is, how do we close that gap? How do we close that gap? It can't be just looking locally. I got to be brutally honest with myself and say, you know what? I'm good for where I am. It doesn't mean that I'm nationally good. Doesn't mean that I'm better than the guy who has a bigger why than me, who has better work ethic than me, who has better skills than me. But what am I willing to do to close the gap on that? And that's where the mindset comes in.
Mm.
Being brutally honest with myself, taking an honest assessment, understanding what my strengths are, what my weaknesses are, and being willing to act on that. What's your feedback?
I mean, it's funny because when you ask me what my feedback is, I'm like, oh man, now that I have the information, I'm responsible for it. No.
Yes.
But it's true. It's like
When you're presented with the truth, you're now
you're
responsible
now
for it.
responsible for it.
That's a shirt.
That is a shirt. Hold on, let me pencil that down.
Now here's another piece, and this may ruffle some feathers. But the challenger that's in front of you, the obstacle that's in front of you, you resent it and you hate it because it's now in your way.
Right.
But it's actually there to make you better. It's actually there to push you. So while you're resenting the thing that has been sent there to bless you, nothing is happening to you, it's happening for you.
It's not happening to you, it's happening for you.
And you have to change your mindset from saying, why is the coach not, uh, giving me an opportunity? Why is this not happening? Why is that not happening? You have to take the excuses away. You have to give him no choice. And when you present yourself in that higher grade, in that um, more improved you give that individual, or you remove the obstacle out of your way. You don't simply lament or sit back because you feel like something is going wrong or something is happening to you. You use it as fuel to get better.
You take total ownership.
You take ownership.
Okay.
That's what we talked about in the last episode.
I was going to say, okay.
Owning that.
That's ownership.
But being brutally honest with myself to say that, you know what? I'm being pushed right now. I'm uncomfortable right now.
Right.
But what am I going to do about it?
What am I going to do about it?
Yeah.
Earlier, you talked about decisions, making a decision. Decisions are easy to make, but harder to follow through on. What separates people who act on their decisions from those who hesitate or hold back?
All right. So I'm going to get into another thing that's kind of along these lines, but taking responsibility.
Right.
Where you are may not be your fault, but it's your responsibility to change it.
That's very Gen X of you. I was going to say. Okay, so you're telling me I'm not the reason I fell into this hole, but it's my responsibility to crawl out of it?
Mm-hmm. So there's a story, a parable out of the Bible, a story out of the Bible, where Jesus comes across a man by the pool of Bethesda, and um, he's been crippled his whole life, and he's laying on a mat, which they reference as a bed.
Right.
And Jesus asked the man, "Do you want to be made whole? Do you want to be healed?" And the man starts going into all these excuses about, no, I don't have anybody to help me down to the pool, because when the angel touches the water, there's healing if you can get there, but while it's still rippling, and there's nobody to help me, and I'm in this condition. And Jesus never even acknowledges that. He simply asks him again, do you want to be made whole? Do you want to be healed? It may not be your fault, but now I'm giving you some responsibility to act.
Right.
Then pick up your bed and walk. Do the thing that you could not do before. It seems unfair, it seems unreasonable that you're still waiting for help, but he's telling you to help yourself in this moment. Because if you just have faith, he'll take you the rest of the way.
Come on, bro. That's a word for me.
I didn't mean to take it to church, but
I was going to say that's a word for me. It really is. That's a blessing. I'm glad we're touching on this.
Yeah.
Well, I have one more question for you.
Okay.
Everybody talks about wanting success, but not everyone is prepared for what comes with it. What does it truly mean to be ready to pay the cost of greatness?
So you hear me say this a lot. Everybody wants to be great until the invoice shows up.
Oh, no.
Till you understand what exactly has been asked.
Right.
There's a again, take it back to church. There's a gospel song that we love. It's called Yes.
Yes.
If you knew what it really means to say yes, would you still say yes? Would you, when the rich young ruler came before Jesus, and he said, "I've been following all the commandments. I've done all these things." Jesus says, "Sell all that you have, pick up your cross and follow me." And in that moment, he wasn't willing to pay that price. What it's going to cost you to get to the next level is going to be everything. Everything you have, all your comfort zones, all your comfortability, everything you're familiar with. You're going to have to lose some friends. You're going to have to not go to some parties. You're going to have to not associate with some people that are no good for you.
Right.
This is what it costs. And also, you're going to have to recognize who you should surround yourself with.
Mhm.
You got to keep a keen eye to who brings out the best in you. There's a book called Good to Great, and it talks about first who, then what.
Mm.
Who's on the bus? Who's on the bus with me? And it may sound selective, but everybody can't go with you.
Right. Come on
Everybody
now.
can't be where you're going to be.
It's true.
But this is what it costs. It costs what it costs. There are no shortcuts, there are no discounts. This is simply the cost,
And you're either willing to pay it
or
or
you're
you're
not.
not.
And if you're not willing to pay it, stop dreaming about a thing you can't afford.
Right. Ooh. I'm putting that one on a hoodie. Stop
That's a
dreaming about a
shit.
thing you can't afford.
Yeah.
That's really deep.
Yeah. Because you've chose not to pay the cost. So don't tell me about your wants, your desires, your any of that if you're not willing to pay what it costs.
Right.
If you're not willing to sacrifice, if you're not willing to lose some things, if you're not willing to be comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Comfortable. If you're not willing to be comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Uncomfortable.
Wow. It's a lot of little isms that came out of
Yeah,
this episode, didn't it? Well, let's wrap up there. That was a lot of meat, let me say.
Yeah.
And that wraps up episode 6 of the Coach Dad podcast, The Secret Sauce. From consistency and mindset to courage, relationships, and sacrifice. These are the decisions that move us from average to elite. If today's conversation challenged you or encouraged you, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss future episodes. Leave us a review or share this with a friend. It helps us spread these lessons to more families and athletes. And don't forget to visit podpage.com/coach-dad with 3 Ds for updates, resources, and ways to stay connected with us. Until next time, dedication fuels you, discipline shapes you, and development carries you. We'll see you next time. Bye for now.